it's gonna keep working just good. So it's pretty easy. How you guys doing today? What's up, man?
What's going on?
I'll be hanging out.
Same. Intro's awesome, dude. I love it.
Yeah, I freaking love it, bro. It's dope. Let me do check how YouTube's performing real quick here.
What's going?
We got people in here. Hold on a second. How do I? Is there a way I can click that? I don't have the chat running on here, but I think I'll just put it over here. Yeah, that's good. Theological critique of your submission. I will definitely take a look at it here, Mexodox, don't worry. You know a Muslim that wants to join, but he thinks it's an echo chamber. Why do you think it's an echo chamber? That doesn't really follow. The beard is nice, thank you. I appreciate that. I got the Hawaiian shirt on today. I got one of my yellow ones. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? Wow.
Dude, you should have been in Jim Bob's server earlier.
Why?
There was a sovereign citizen in the VC.
A sovereign citizen.
It was a pretty funny conversation. It went on way too long.
Do you interpret the Octoribus statement from Saint Hilary as the Father and the Son being authorities? You'd have to tell me what specific context that is, my friend. I'm not really sure what passage you're giving me on that. Hey, Lewis. So me and Unitarian Apologetics possibly have our formal debate August 1st.
Wow.
Did you see him? Did you see him post an announcement on his YouTube?
No, I don't. I don't actually. I'm not actually subscribed to him, but
Yeah,
I'll check it out.
Let me put it up real quick here. He did.
All right. He has past debates as well, by the way. So if you want to know his main arguments, you should just go watch those.
Yeah, right here. So like, he posted the whole video of our debate here, right? 58-minute debate straight up. I don't know why he posted his L, but we'll ignore that.
By the way, you've got background music, just so you know. Yeah?
Oh yes, I'm tracking that. And then right here, 41 seconds, a Unitarian debate with Eastern Orthodoxy. Stay tuned, and it's literally just him sending the super chat saying, "Are you up for a formal debate?" And then I said, "Yes, I am." And then the video ends like mysteriously, bro. Bro's like hyping it up and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we agreed.
Yeah, well,
we agreed to. I think it's like around August 1st. So it should be.
That's good.
Do you know your second opponent in the Danny debate yet, or is it still a mystery?
No, Danny hasn't even reached out to me. Ever since
I have a feeling
I told Danny that. So it originally was going to be in like early June, but then nobody was answering about the platform. So I said, okay, what about July 13th then? Right? Like, what if we just push it out a month? And then Danny's like, I'll reach out to the guy and let you know. And then I never got anything back, so I'm still waiting.
Lewis, were you going to say that you think it's going to be Metaphysics Mike?
Yep.
Me too. That's why I think he was up here that day.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine by me. That would not be a problem with me, especially if
maybe that's why you're not getting an answer.
Yeah, I think he got scared by.
Well, to be fair, I haven't like actually pressed Danny on who it is. I kind of just expected that he'd tell me.
Ask him, bro.
I might as well. Why not?
It's going to be Jordan Peterson.
Go ahead.
It's going to be Jordan Peterson.
You know, Danny came up on Michael's live once asking me like, I don't know if I already told you this, Bryce, but he was asking me questions about what I think of certain passages, how I would interpret them, and they were typical Arian passages.
So it's just literally just showing itself right in the face, huh?
Mm.
How much do you know? How much does you know on theology and philosophy? A pretty decent amount, man. Quick Brown Fox is his name.
Do you see John's argument against Jehovah's Witnesses?
What?
Do you see John's argument against Jehovah's Witnesses?
No, I have not.
I'm not going to say it up here. It's pretty funny, though.
Oh, okay. Talking about the book from the Trinity book 2, St. Hilary. I'll take a look. Hold on. I think I have it in here. Is it chapter 29? I haven't taken my pre-stream shit yet, so I'm gonna have to disappear here in a couple minutes for like 5 minutes.
Bruh.
Sorry, dude. I was already late and I didn't want to be even more late, so I decided to start the stream, let my friends up, and then have them entertain the chat while I'm gone.
You got to make it so we can actually bring up guests, dude.
Dude, I literally would.
You have to just hop on TikTok Live, like start a live from your phone, go into the settings, fix it, and then close it.
Exactly.
But I don't think it works though if I'm streaming on my PC. That's the thing, is that if I'm streaming on my PC, your guys' rights just doesn't work here. Like, it's different.
Well,
It's
that
just,
doesn't
the
make
process
sense.
is different.
I don't think they work that way.
Dude, I'm telling you.
No, Bryce.
I can't hold it anymore. Keep chatting.
All right. This guy makes me laugh, man. Oh, I'm tired. It's 1:30 in the morning, where I am.
Yeah, it's a 5-hour difference from me.
Yeah.
Lewis, we gotta have that conversation. We gotta have that
Tag conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta get everybody on the same page. It's been kind of hectic the past couple of weeks, so.
Yeah. No, we can arrange it. I'm just not gonna bring Rumi though.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, if he wants to, we can come. It's just, yeah.
We'll see. Yeah.
That group chat just devolved so quick.
Bro, it just did. I don't know. Gabe. So Proverbs 8, bro. There's a lot to explain in Proverbs 8, Gabe. But actually, if you look at the Hebrew word used in verse 22, when it's usually translated as possessed, kana can also refer to giving birth to something. And also biblically, that has also been used in contexts where the person is begotten, yet they pre-existed their begetting. So even if they try to use that verse to say like the Father willed Jesus into being or something, it doesn't work that way. It wouldn't work with the language that's used in the Hebrew. Sorry, schoolboy. I was just responding to someone in the chat.
Yeah, no, I saw the question that was asked. What's the kind of response you get when you press them on like something like Proverbs 30 verse 4?
They will say, "Oh, it's talking about Israel." Yeah, being the son.
The son. Yep.
The problem is, contextually, that isn't the case because the verse before is talking about literally God creating all things. The one and then it says, "What is his name and what is the name of his son?"
Yep.
So the context is creation. Yeah, Jaden, you're right. Yeah, Sirach. The problem with Sirach is, depending on who you're speaking to, they're not going to accept it. But yeah, Sirach 24 does clarify what is meant by the bringing forth of wisdom. Because even in Proverbs 8, if you read 24, verse 24, the Hebrew word there, cholelti, means to be brought forth, and it's in the passive, meaning it's a continuous bringing forth. So it's literally an eternal begetting. You can definitely tell this is my topic.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll defer to you on this 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Lewis,
yeah,
I got tonsured as a reader yesterday.
Really?
I did.
Nice, man. Really nice. Oh, Jay's here. Bro, I love Jay's stuff on the papacy. Like, it's really good.
Yeah, it is.
I've known Jay for a very long time. Like, I've met him in real life as well, and like, he's a really good guy. And back in the day, he didn't know anything close to what he knows now. Like, the guy has really studied.
Rumi says I got an argument to refute going to history.
Yeah, he has an argument that metaphysical arguments, like, are more. What is it? What was the argument? He sent it to me on Discord. But anyway, it's that metaphysical arguments take priority over historical arguments.
I mean, I can understand that.
I think that is true, though. That is, like, if you can show something to be the case metaphysically.
Yep.
Because history is more subjective in terms of, like, okay, who's interpreting it? Because both people can look at the same kind of set of data and come with different conclusions.
Yeah, they call it history. Dude, like, what about her story?
Yeah. That's crazy.
You know what got me fired up a little bit earlier? Someone posting a meme about, like, it was like you and the guy she tells you not to worry about.
Yeah.
But it was Saint Tsar Nicholas and Rasputin.
Yeah, that's funny.
It would be if it wasn't just Bolshevik propaganda.
To be honest, bro, I don't know much about Rasputin and stuff like that. I just, like, I know that they existed and kind of where they sit in history.
There's a really good article on orthochristian.com. I forget the priest's name, but he goes into it. And, like, Rasputin was an Orthodox monk, and he was a miracle worker.
Mm-hmm.
And he was an extremely holy man. And then the Bolsheviks came in and just slandered him.
I'm still here. What's up, Remy?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm hanging out, man.
I was reading your definition when it comes to the formal actual distinction, right?
Mm-hmm.
The one that, like, it's in the server. I can, like, look you up.
Is it the document that I had made?
No, it was let me see if I can find it. 1 second, so let me find it. It was by Gennadius in his work. Can't say the word, but he says there are distinct formally and actually, or to put in a way, by their definition, the distinctness is not derived from our concept alone, but from the applied and defined truth which corresponds to God to these names.
Yes, the origination point for the distinction entirely is rooted in God. And so all we're doing is apprehending the distinctions that God is aware of. So God is aware of his own distinctions. He knows that his will is not his foreknowledge, for example. And so when we are, via things like the divine logi, we're capable of basically ascending to that knowledge ourselves, apprehend that knowledge rather than inventing it.
Yeah, so like the distinction, like the formal actual between the essence and energies, like I don't see how that's different to like a formal distinction, because this is what like
Go ahead.
this is what like the Lullists say, right? They say that
Yeah, so
it is said that
there's more works from him that kind of explain it a little bit better as well. That work that you saw, how it's formally and actually distinct, that doesn't describe it entirely. That's kind of just a simplistic way of putting it. But if you actually read his work on the distinction of essence and energies, he makes it a lot more precise. In terms of Scotism, right? The distinction is not fully complete until there is a human intellect to basically apply the formality in its definition. In our view, that's not the case. So that the entire definition and the formality in of itself is rooted in the divine logi, or in God himself, and all we're doing is just entirely apprehending it. So it's entirely prior to the intellect, and a formal distinction, even in the lowest view, isn't entirely prior to the intellect. It still requires a human intellect to complete.
wait, what's the work is it called on the distinction between essence and energies?
Essence and operations, technically, is the way that he puts it, but it's in tome 3, OCGS tome 3. I think I've sent it to you on Discord.
I don't know.
Rumi's I know Rumi's studying to refute Eastern Orthodoxy, bro. And I just know it, bro.
I'm studying to do what?
I think he's still studying his own stuff, dude. He's looking into Lolism now.
Bro,
That
I've been
shit's esoteric, man.
Lawlism.
Yeah, bro, I've been studying.
I've never met somebody who actually like follows his stuff, bro.
Yeah, same. I haven't either.
Robert Lowell, right? Or something like that.
Ramon
Lowell.
Yeah.
Like 99% of his works are like entirely in Spanish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Spanish or Latin, but I have somebody that's teaching me them. No, you didn't send it.
Let me read this. Like this is from Against Akandinos.
From Palamas?
No, from Gennadios. He has a work against Akandinos as well.
Okay.
It's called Against the Barlamite, Against the Supporters of Akandinos, concerning a passage of Theodore Graptos. It says, someone would have considered mad to demand this, for with those terms in which the distinction of reason revolves, there would sometime be leisure, with our soul being removed, which is able to fabricate such terms, such as the distinctions in them. That's referring to the formal, like the Scotus distinction in that case. But the essence of God and energy and the difference in these will exist, even when every soul and every mind has been removed. For being or subsisting or proceeding does not oppose the divine energy, whether internal nor external, even if it should not happen that all things are removed which predicate of these things of the divine energy properly.
Wait, so that's in... What's that working again?
That's in Tome 3, in the OCGS, Tome 3. It's in the section called Against the Barlamite, Against the Supporters of Akandinos. It's on page 214 if you want a specific page on that. In OCGS Tome 3. That specific thing I just said is on that page. And it's from the Juji translation. So it's not like Patrologia Graecos or something. It's Juji's compilation.
Wait, where do you find it online?
I have it in the server, and then I also have the original ones are also on, what do you call that? Academia.edu and asbika.ru, archive.org. I mean, like that's where I found all of them. But I used academia.edu to acquire the English translations. Christian Caps translated the OCGS Tome 3. What?
Wait, what did you type in academia.eu?
On the in terms of Akandinos, I have to send. I'll just send you the PDF for that one because that one was in a compilation document. Let me send you that because it was like in the ones where it like has a bunch of select works in an OCGS tome. But on the distinction of essence and energies, though, you can just type on Gennadios Scholarios on the distinction of essence and energies. academia.edu, and it should come up with Christian Caps. Either Christian Caps or a different person, English translation of that. I'll send you this now. How's everybody else doing today?
I'm chilling. I'm still trying to figure out what to name my website. I'm going insane.
I'm telling you the good news.
Yo, guys, would you guys think badly of me if I created a website for my articles and I used a Latin name?
If you use a
Bro,
Latin name?
Jason.
Yeah, if I use a Latin name, yeah.
You're gonna get less traffic that way.
Really?
People are gonna avoid it for that sole reason.
Probably. Yeah, your name's gonna be like something in Latin, and they're gonna be like, "This dude's corny as hell," and they're not gonna read it.
No, Rumi's website.
Dude,
yeah,
it
Rumi's
does.
like blog is in Latin.
Wait, I can't. Can you send it to me? Send it to a friend request because I can't send it.
Yeah.
Mr. Jason wants to come up, by the way.
Oh, sick. My favorite. My favorite Greek Orthodox. What's up, man?
Greek Orthodox.
Yes, you're Greek Orthodox.
I think you're mistaken there. But
I thought I was your favorite Greek Orthodox.
hey, Novus, unmute now.
I don't even know who that is.
No, I can't believe
What's up,
this.
Goy?
Yeah, you said. Wait,
You're
who's
Goy.
this?
You're Goy. You're Goy.
Oh, of course, it's the 10-year-olds that are cocksucking.
Yeah. You're Goy. You're Goy.
It's the 10-year-olds, man.
Hey, whoa. I'm not 10. I'm 63.
I don't even. Dude says some
I think
crazy.
you kicked the wrong one.
No, I kicked
No,
Jay
no,
because
no,
you
no.
said COCK, bro.
But there's novice guys manifesting as well, though.
No, I'm not.
Do you want to manifest a little bit more?
No. He started it. I think he's okay.
I read the chat. Don't worry. I can scroll up if you want.
Bro, that is so like childish. Like,
I said one thing and he
Remy,
got
I
to
can't.
it.
Remy, I can't send you, the work. It's not letting me DM you.
No, you need to accept my friend request. That's one.
Oh, there we go. There you go. All of Tomes.
What's childish, Rumi?
He's like, no, I'm not. He started it.
Yeah, I know. He's a little kid.
No,
All
I'm
right,
not.
Novus. Are you a Saturday privationist, by the way?
Huh?
Are you a Saturday privationist?
I don't even know what you're saying.
Hi, right?
Do you know the difference between your left and your right hand?
Huh?
Huh?
Alright,
Bro, are you this confused?
Yeah, I don't know. What's up, CS?
Wait, can I just quickly ask something?
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
Well, ceiling burb.
So, like, what's your opinion on like other Catholics, like Byzantine Catholics and Eastern Catholics?
They're LARPing.
Bro.
It's as simple as that.
Well-
They're close though. I like that they venerate people that they're not supposed to. That's based.
I was just asking, but alright.
Yeah, I mean, like I think that they're the closest to the truth in terms of like the Roman Catholic Church, if that's what you mean.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
But I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
at
what I
the end of the day though, like we still don't, affirm their communion because of their
Yeah.
associations, you know.
Well, it's like saying the set of Acontists are closest to the truth because of their view on the papacy.
Real?
Well, no.
Nah,
because-
but
no, I
the
don't
Sede
think
view
so.
isn't even our view, though.
No, I know.
Yeah, the Eastern Catholic view like actually tries to be our view but just accepting the Pope like intermediarily.
Yeah, and
Wait,
In
what
not,
about-
in not being able to deny the filioque, but
Wait, what
But
about the
also,
SSPX?
What the SSPX? That's just a Tradcat church that's still in communion, right?
yeah.
Yeah, we're ranking.
I mean, so me personally, I think Pope St. Pius X is kind of based. I think he's got aura, but I'd say he's better than like a Novus Ordo Roman Catholic if that's what you're asking.
You're real SSPX.
Rumi loves the SSPX, bro.
Yeah. What page did you say it's on in the book? The one that you sent me.
Should be 214, I think. 214, I think. Or if you just look in the chapters section, you can use against. It should be against the Barlamite, or against.
You got Jason freaking
just
out.
Look up Acondinos, actually.
Wait, what?
You've got Jason freaking out.
Why? About what? Pope what, Pius?
You said Pope.
Yeah,
you said Pope Saint
because,
Pius.
because I was saying SSPX, bro. Society of Saint Pope Pius IX, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's literally what it's called. What do you want me to do, bro? I was literally just referencing it
Well,
in
it's like
terms of the society name.
Bro, I've heard Rumi say Saint Palamos before, like, but I didn't have
Yeah,
to like
sure,
think about it.
That's so based. Oh my gosh.
You know, I've heard Rumi say it.
Unbelievably based when Rumi does that.
Yeah, well,
It's the noose coming through, bro.
Dude,
But this is
just wait. One day he's gonna slip and say Saint Mark of Ephesus too. You just wait.
No, I believe in the sixth sense. We don't believe in the new. That's what the
Sixth
is in the
Sense?
sixth sense. Yeah.
Where's that at?
In Raymond Lowell's. Where is he out? Like in the bottom?
No, where
Bruce
it at in
Willis
your
is
body?
at his
Yeah,
kitchen
yeah, where
table
is it
right
at in
now.
your hypostasis. Where is it formally located?
I can still do that for you. But trust.
It's gonna get
You say
there.
that it's
Wait,
in your
Rumi.
soul. I'm literally gonna say that lol is a copier.
Yeah, it might be. You know, I think it might be. But I'm not.
It probably is. Yeah, it probably is.
Bro's literally copying the dose. He just doesn't want to call it that.
Do you know what's funny?
It's like those Orthodox Christians that are just like, we don't affirm divine simplicity. That's Catholic. Like that type of thing.
No, do you know what's funny? When I grew up, my dad, because in Greek we use the term nous to just mean like mind.
Intellect or mind.
Yeah, and like my dad would say to someone like, "Where's your nous?" Like in Greek, and like when I first came into these theological circles and I was looking into this stuff, I couldn't believe that there was like this deep theological tradition like to do with the word nous, and it was because it's like. To me, like it's just used in context where you're telling someone they don't have a brain, like they don't have a mind.
Darkened news.
Yeah. Mr. Jason wants to come up.
Surprisingly enough, the YouTube stream is actually not going bad.
By the way, I've got a question for everyone on the panel and the host. What are your ages, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 25.
Schoolboy?
32.
Rumi?
I'm 23.
Mr. Jason?
21 years of age.
Wow. I'm the youngest. Why do you have to laugh?
I don't know.
Because he said
20.
years of age, like it was all formal.
21 years of age. That's some military shit, dude.
Damn, bro, you guys are unks though. Like I'm too young for you guys.
Unk status is over 35, bro.
What are you, 18, Lewis?
I'm 20.
Oh, that's not bad. Look, dude, here's something that was told to me. I don't actually think I'm an unk anymore. You want to know why? This is gonna make Schoolboy unk really badly, though. So the two criteria that Gen Z and Gen Alpha apparently is using to determine whether or not somebody has unk status
Is if
whether
they're
or not
actually an
they-
uncle.
No, if they remember 9/11.
Yeah, I remember it vividly.
Unk.
Wow.
I don't.
Just
I was still
answer
shitting
about
my
what
pants. I was one.
I was in fourth grade. I remember my teachers huddling around the wheelie. You know how they used to have the TVs on the wheels? You probably don't even remember that. In like elementary school, they'd wheel in the TV on like movie day.
I did have that. All right, like
Okay.
Bro,
so
bro.
at least we can match up there. Yeah, and like they're like huddled in the corner of the art classroom, like crying.
what do you mean remember? Jordan, I mean like you can literally remember back to the day of 9/11 and remember where you were and what you were seeing. Whether you were in school and they wheeled in the TV to watch the second plane at the tower, or if you were somebody who heard about it on the news or something. Not in like
They sent us
detail.
home.
I
They
mean, a lot
sent
of
us
people don't
home.
remember too much about it, especially if it was really traumatizing to watch.
Hot take: the second plane didn't exist.
That's a crazy hot take, dude.
No, the hot take is
I don't
the
even know.
with
Can you
the
talk about that on TikTok? That sounds like an oy vey thing
I mean,
to say.
to be fair, I am literally an uncle, so there's that.
I was like a month old when it happened.
There was a group of people dancing. What are you talking about, Zay?
What's this guy talking about?
The Jews that happened.
The Jews, bro.
There goes my live.
Nah. Wait, we love TikTok shop. We're Jewish.
We are
Israel.
I-
Israel number one. Oy vey. Oy vey. TikTok.
Oy vey.
Jason is Jewish.
Oy vey.
Jason is Jewish.
Huh?
Oh yeah, it's in the soul. Real.
So it's a noose. See, bro, look, you guys are just trying to be fancy, man. Like, stop doing all of that.
Oh yeah, we're just based like that. That's why. They're like behind everything.
I'm gonna start getting into debating Jews, by the way, on the Old Testament.
Good luck. They're too busy arguing with each other.
No, but seriously though, like, I even sent Rumi like some Jewish argument. Some guy made an argument called the Christian dilemma.
You guys want to hear a pretty funny Jewish joke? Like, it's not against Jews, like, but just like the joke for a Jew to another Jew. So two Gentile business owners are talking to each other, and one of them asks, "How's business?" And the other one goes, "Great." That's the joke.
What?
Because if it was two Jewish business owners, it would be like, "Oh, it's been so slow." Then it would go on for hours, and they would just complain.
Bryce got the call. It's over. Bryce got the call. Shut it down. That's funny, bro. Zonk said oy vey on YouTube. I love the double chat. It works good.
What they got,
yeah,
what they have to do is they have to say "oi" on YouTube and then come here and say "vey" here.
Boss call. Johan said boss call. Set it down.
Yo, Jay. I don't know if you're still here. Me, Kata, and DK, we're going to Speaker's Corner this Sunday. So if you want, you can come down.
I don't go into
What
that.
position is Kata gonna be doing? I don't even know what
What's he
Kata
gonna
is,
hold
bro.
to? Bro, he takes any position on. Like, I've seen him go on Muslim Lives and defend EED.
What?
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Well, he has told me himself that like he doesn't have like a problem with EED. He just doesn't understand the articulation half the time. Like he just doesn't like, because different people give different articulations of it sometimes in Orthodoxy, which confuses people, which I understand.
No.
But that's because a lot of
told
people
me.
try to explain EED because they just they decided to read the triads for the first time and think that they understand it. So, you know, like they just go straight for it and like, oh yeah, no, dude, I'm an EED guy. I've read the triads. I'm like, oh, amazing. So you know how to say essence and energies are distinct, because that's what he said. Like, it does give a great analogies towards it though. Finally, I don't use TikTok, but I wanted to watch the stream. Hey, amen.
Yeah.
You should stay off TikTok. That's a good idea.
Kata used to attend an Antiochian Eastern Orthodox church, actually.
Oh yeah.
Do it again. Because
Yeah.
that's where the true worship of Hashem is.
Of Hashem.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jay makes me laugh, man. But yeah, I'm trying to get him back in, to be honest.
All right, let me pull this up here because I gotta look at some of these.
Wait a second. Someone just said Albie explains the energies good.
No.
Let's go ahead and pause this. I don't know, dude. I can go back up there in a second and check on them. I don't know.
Have you watched this yet, Bryce?
No.
Oh no. screaming like? Why is she screaming like that?
Oh, it's so good.
Why is she screaming like that?
Why is she speeding up?
He's dying.
Centripetal force. Centripetal force.
This is practice for when you go to like a Protestant church, right?
Real, it is.
Bro, that's crazy.
I'm gonna go check.
Now, do you know what's funny? Like, we're watching stuff like this, yet we're supposed to be defending the Trinity on this live.
Wait, have you heard how
an analogy.
LB defeats the LPT?
Oh, bro. Oh, Rumi,
Bryce,
get the video.
play the video that you sent me.
Which?
Rumi, send that video to Bryce, please.
Yes, send the video.
Well-
Actually, I would watch that live.
Yeah, let me get it off. It's hilarious.
Bro, it's the greatest, bro. It's the best. We can't say God is, and like he gets it confused. Like he keeps switching.
Wait, don't spoil it, bro. This guy's like the next theologian. Trust me.
God logic gives a good account of how the Trinity works. I'd say that it's not bad.
Yeah, because
he holds monarchical.
he learned it from Bryce.
He uses monarchical Trinitarian.
Bro, did you see God logic with like the square triangle?
Yes, I did. That was a very funny conversation.
Yeah, there was a square with a triangle in it. And he said, "Look,
Wait, I sent it to you.
yo, Bryce, you got to check this, man. You got to put it on the screen as well, though. You got to put it on the screen."
All right, hold on.
I can't lie. Ali Dao was actually too
And
funny.
identity. They're conflating that because what are they doing? From an external view, they're identifying the Father. I'm sorry, identifying God. You can't identify God externally as the Father. The Father is God. That doesn't work. That's not what we believe, right? I'm sorry. God is the Father. That's not what we believe. We don't believe the
God is. We don't believe God is the Father. The Father is God, the Son is God, and the Holy Spirit. No. I got that backwards. That God is.
Yeah, the Father is God. We don't believe. Yeah, the God
The
is the
caption
Father.
makes it
That means
so
the
much
being
funnier.
of God, right? The being of God would be.
Oh my gosh.
And this
You
guy
see?
this guy wants to debate me.
See how he solved the LPT, guys?
That was
He wants to
that was
do the
genius,
opposite.
man. I'm throwing Bo Branson away, honestly. Like I don't even.
He
I don't
Jason,
even,
he
I don't
already
need
he
him
already
anymore.
tried to change the topic in DMs, and I called him out on it, and then he just never responded.
He's an idiot.
Yeah, he is.
What was the debate on?
Filioque.
He
Really?
doesn't even know what that is.
The position he wanted me to defend was: does the Eastern Orthodox Church have the right to condemn the Filioque?
What?
Do you realize what he would have to affirm as a Protestant to defend that?
Yeah.
He would have to affirm the papacy.
Yep.
That's a wild.
And I think he realized that, and that's why he tried to change the topic, and then just
That's a
never
silly
responded.
topic. That's just crazy.
It's a dumb debate for him to take.
I'll be the tritheist. Correct.
Yeah.
No, we don't believe that the Father is God, the Son is God, the Holy Spirit is God.
From an external identity.
No, you gotta pause and start over more than that, Bryce. You
I've
gotta,
got, dude, like I'm not even somebody to normally do like the polemic thing that like Rumi does, but I would go full Rumi on that guy if he started saying shit like that. I'd be like, what does that mean? What does external reality mean? What does external identity mean? I'd be like, what does that mean? Explain that.
Wait. Bryce, other than Saint John Chrysostom, who would you say like has a good commentary on the Bible?
On the Bible?
Mm-hmm.
Saint Theophylact.
Saint Augustine.
Saint Theophylact has an incredible one.
I thought his name was
Like
I
in-depth-
thought it was
like in-depth
I thought it was Theophylact. That sounded a lot cooler.
Like in-depth exegesis. I know Augustine.
Yes. I can send you all of his commentaries on the Gospels, and then I could download the epistles if you want.
No, it's cool. Just Just message me the name. I'll find them.
I only can give you prior to schism. We have like amazing ones after schism, but I can't give you.
Yeah, no, I don't want that. That's all corrupted.
Real, but Origin's low-key based interpretation.
Bro, there's a theologian. I forgot his name, bro. I'm gonna find it. Yeah, but his commentaries
especially that part, Rumi, where he says that the sun and the stars are demons. That was awesome. It was legit.
That's we affirm what agrees with us and disagrees, just like the crosses. That's all we're doing.
No, Rumi. There's a theologian, a Roman Catholic one, I think, in the 19th century. And I wanted to see like his commentary on certain verses that Unitarians bring up, and to be honest, it's actually quite good. He gives he already like expects the Unitarians to use those verses, so he answers like the question.
Lewis,
yeah.
Saint Cyril of Alexandria.
Oh yeah.
His he might like
are goated.
Commentary on the 12 prophets. He has like 3 volumes on that. It's like really good.
There's very long as well. And his commentary on John is fantastic.
Yeah, I saw his. I read part of his commentary on John actually before. I think he gave a good answer to John 14:28, where Jesus says the Father is greater than I.
I think so. Dude, I'm so I'm so happy that I finally got done with the first draft of this book, man. It was a head beater, but
wait, what help with history? I was gonna ask you, what help with history did you need?
What help with history?
Yeah, on the Theological.
I can let me reference the contemporary books that I used.
Yeah, Jason, you should try DeepSeek for translation. You go on like it's like the Chinese one, and if you go look on like deep thinking as well, it translated better than like Gemini. I spoke to like Define about it. Should like try it.
So I got
no, I heard DeepSeek. DeepSeek is an extremely advanced AI.
Yeah, and you can do up to like 12 images at once, 12 screenshots at once.
So I have for contemporaries, I used Claude Froissin, so the French Scotist, referenced for the scholastic disparates. I used Duong, actually, Brian Duong, in his book, The Filioque Answering the Eastern Orthodox. Edward Shasinski in his book, The Filioque History of a Doctrinal Controversy. Basil Popov, The History of the Council of Florence. And then Vladimir Rodzianko, who was referenced by St. Stan Eloy in his Theology of the Church book. A.E. Byrne, who is the scholar on the Council of Toledo Acts. Gonzalo Martinez Diaz and Felix Rodriguez. They're the editors of La Colección Canonica Hispania. So they have the critical edition of all of the Toledo councils. And they're actually the main people that make the argument that the Third Council of Toledo actually did not include from the Son. It was interpolated at the Fourth Council of Toledo, which is referenced in the book. But those are the contemporaries that I used for that. And then everything else is actually just direct church father quotations or post-schism. Be right back. 1 second. I think somebody's at my front door.
Wait, Mr. Jason, I have a question, sir. Is Mr. Jason here?
Did you get my DM, Lewis?
Yeah, I saw. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, what's up?
So, Mr. Jason, like, how do you deal with, like, what St. Maximus says about Rome, where he says Rome has never erred? Never.
He doesn't say that once.
No, by the way, now
Well,
real
at least
talk.
I don't think he did anyway. Either way, it's not. Saint
What,
Maximus. Wait.
Anyway.
Huh. Did you say my name?
Jay said your name, yeah.
And then he just mutes instantly.
Crazy.
Yo, Jay, why do you doubt the Council of Rome 382 even happened?
What?
Why do you doubt that the Council of Rome in 382 even happened?
I mean, if you, well, Well, the quotes from the councils come 200 years after the actual council itself.
Okay, so
That's
no,
not
no.
a good argument.
No, I'm not saying that's the earliest manuscript. Is that the early contemporaries within the late 4th century, like St. Jerome, they write nothing of this council, and he was allegedly there.
Oh yeah, no, he was. Yeah.
yeah, what's the issue?
Actually, do you know what, Jay? I have heard because of the way Jerome treated the canon, like the biblical canon, that like there's no way the story of him being at that council can be true.
No, he wasn't.
That's why look, Mr. Niagi, that's why what was it called? I forgot what I was gonna say.
Nice.
Well, either way, I mean, there's a quote that they like to use.
Mr. Miyagi.
What?
Chat.
Wait, Bryce, have you heard of the Council's Toledo of 449 or 448 by Saint Leo?
No.
Where he allegedly found the filioque. That council doesn't even exist.
I mean, I know about the situation about how a lot of people attribute the first official council declaring the filioque was the Third Council of Toledo, but most scholarship nowadays kind of denies that and says that it was interpolated by the Fourth Council of Toledo, because the Fourth Council of Toledo had a lot of controversy because somebody said "and the Son" during the Acts, and basically people in the back were like, "What'd you just say?" And they're like, "Yeah, they had it. They had it in the previous one." And they're like, "Show me that." And he's like, "I will see tomorrow."
I'm pretty sure the one in 589, the creed was interpolated at a later date. But it doesn't say "and the Son."
Yeah, I mean that's the thing that I reference in the history chapter on here. I go through.
Yeah, I remember reading it in Szyszensky's book.
You guys are coping, man.
Look at Captain Crunch. He's saying coping, but he wouldn't have the balls to come up.
Well, we could just like
Jay, what'd you say like that?
The bulls.
That's what I need, man. Like, bro, there's so many column warriors. They would never come up.
Just switch it to a metaphysical debate. Give the metaphysical argument for the papacy.
There's no meta.
Metaphysical argument for the papacy is crazy.
Oh, hey, look who said he's gonna come up and hug me.
Historical ecclesiastical position apparently has a metaphysical argument for its necessities. Wild.
Yes.
That's the cope. What's his name? Dr. Sijuwade tried to make for the papacy on why it's necessary.
Sijuwade is like not even a Christian.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, but yeah.
I don't think you understand what Dr. Sijuwade gets at when he's talking about how we predicate to Yahweh, dude.
Well, like Jay, if I say the Son is not Yahweh, would you?
He clarified what he meant in his video.
Yeah.
With inspiring philosophy.
He made
yeah, and the Arians say the same thing.
What did you say?
And the Arians say the same thing as him.
No, because Dr. Sijuwade affirms homoousios at the same time. Arius does not.
Yeah, but like he says he does, but he doesn't.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
What's your argument?
Yeah, like
it just shows evident.
No, because like if you give he's gonna say the Son is not arse, right? The Son does not have arseity. So it's like arseity proper to the divine nature. If so, and the Son does not have arseity, then the Son and the Father have different natures.
Oh, so you got this from Astro, yeah?
Oh wait.
What do you mean? Bro, like what's the Scholasticism?
Rumi.
You believe that the Son is
You got this from Astro.
hypostatically arse, bro?
Hey, wait.
What did you say? Yeah, the Son is arse for our sons, not for a
I
person.
said, do you believe that the Son is hypostatically arse?
Not hypostatically.
Hey, look what Captain
he's
Crunch
not
says.
arse in a sense, right?
No, according to the personhood, but according to the nature he is.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with saying that.
Yeah, but Sijuwade says like according to nature he's not.
Yeah, no, Sijuwade does say the divine essence is not arse.
I'm assuming it's because he probably holds like the strict Ordo Theology position of saying that we start at the person of the Father, and therefore because the person of the Father is the first thing predicated to for God, that the essence technically is derived from the Father as a person.
Yeah, that's actually exactly. That's exactly
that would be why he says that. Because like I mean that's actually a common position in the East as well. Joseph Baranios made that exact same argument. He basically said that the essence is not generated, but it also technically has an origination point of the Father himself, because the person of the Father is the beginning of all theology.
Neoplatonic if you start with the essence.
Literally, yeah. The unknowable one. Start there and then get the forms.
Real Saint Augustine in City of God.
He doesn't even hold to that, bro.
And that's why we use the Cappadocian Fathers.
Not even that, bro. You like freaking Saint Augustine himself. Like he has in City of God, the first 2 books is literally him just shitting on Platonism.
Yeah, of course he critiques Platonism.
Yeah, but he critiques their methodology of committing ontology. That's a problem. If you say that like he holds to that, because he critiques their position on how things are derived in ontology.
Well, I'm just saying when it comes to like the attributes, he considers them similar to like forms when it comes, and this is why even like latest scholarship says on the issue.
Keep the proper Ordo Theology when I debate this Calvinist next week. You've got to get on him about autotheos theology, Paul. It's so funny to watch them become tritheist before your eyes. You've got to just get on that, dude. This is so funny. Like, because they don't know how to defend that shit either.
Rumi, check Discord.
I have a metaphysical argument for Pastor Bob's church. That's what Zacchaeus said on YouTube.
I have Baptistolic succession from Pastor Jim, who has Baptistolic succession from Pastor Tim.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, John was John the Baptist, not John the Catholic. So,
inshallah. Hey, has he heard the case about Pope John VIII and Saint Methodius, when Saint Methodius was refusing to teach or recite the Filioque in Bulgaria, and he was being pressed by other bishops to do it, and then they appealed to Pope John, and then Pope John was like, "Okay, what he's saying right now is the Orthodox teaching."
One of the funniest.
It's just
one of the funniest things actually from Florence was when they actually sent papal legates to the Serbian church, because the Serbian church couldn't attend. So the Pope sent legates to Serbia to basically be like, "So what do you think about this thing?" Right? And then they gave them all of the like the decree of union and like the acts that are currently labeled at that time. And the Serbian metropolitan literally said, "Do you want them to take my head? Get out of my chambers."
Yeah, but Jason, you didn't know that those letters to Saint Photius were forgeries? Like, why would Pope John VIII say that when he said like pretty much the same things in his letters to the forged letters to Saint Photius?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I mean, the people who forged it, I mean, they must have been geniuses, because they didn't even have access to his other letters, but somehow they knew how he wrote.
They used they used the chronovisor, dude.
Oh, Marshall, bro.
Rumi.
Wow.
Rumi, what do you think about the Catholics that are running this polemic around right now, saying that Saint Photius said that Augustine affirmed the Filioque? Do you think that's a valid polemic?
Well, I watched the discussion between him and like another like EO yesterday, where the EO like fried him on like context with the quote. Like, I think he got from like your server.
Literally, if you just read part 4 of the Mystagogy, bro, like it completely defeats that. Like, I don't understand why
you
they're
read
trying to do that.
You read like point 78 or something, or section 78. I don't know like what it's called.
68, 69 of part 4.
Oh, that section then. Yeah, and then you just see like what Photius is saying there is that like I can't remember, but about like these issues, it's just you projecting these issues onto the saints. It's not that these saints are actually teaching them, which was his point.
Indeed.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me if he says it or not. Like, I don't see like why make that a polemic.
Well, I mean, it's kind of it's like I don't know understand. It's because of the fact that like there's a lot of Orthodox people now that are kind of like pushing that Augustine didn't affirm the filioque, and so I think that's kind of like a gotcha that's maybe being done.
It's like,
saying like,
why
oh,
are
you
you-
can't do that because your own
Yeah.
pillar of Orthodoxy didn't affirm that, and that's simple. You just say where does he say that? I'm curious.
Well, it seems like
Saint Photius said that Saint Jerome and Saint Augustine taught the filioque. Well, how do you feel, guys? GG's.
I concede Augustine affirms the filioque.
Inshallah.
Well, it seems like Saint Thomas says that Saint John of Damascus didn't teach the filioque. Like, unless I'm interpreting or missing something.
Saint John.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and John of Damascus.
Where?
And contrary Greek canonian.
What do you think
Seriously?
about the future Saint J. Dyer affirming that Saint Augustine taught the filioque? I mean, I disagree with J. Dyer on that, 100%. Like,
Wait,
I
what
guess
was that,
just,
by the way?
huh?
What did I just hear Rumi say? What did Saint Augustine? Sorry.
Saint John of Damascus. He said he didn't teach the filioque, apparently.
Wait, Thomas
Well,
Aquinas said.
Thomas Aquinas did say that, yes.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
in
no.
his,
Oh,
it's in
I
his
thought you
selected.
said
It's in
Saint
his selected
John.
writings book. He put that on there. I can't remember. What
Oh, I
specific
thought you
writing.
said Saint John didn't. I thought you said
No.
the Nicene.
No, Thomas
said that
Aquinas,
Augustine.
Thomas Aquinas concedes that he doesn't teach the filioque, but then he also goes on to compare Saint John of Damascus's theology to Theodoret, which was kind of whack. And you want to know how I know that that's something that he actually said. This is going to sound really stupid, but the fact that Carlos of all people referenced that. Right, because I asked him, right, I was like, I actually tried to harmonize the fathers, so I believe that St. Augustine taught the same theology as St. John of Damascus, and he's like, I don't care about St. John of Damascus. I said, excuse me?
He
And
didn't
he's
even
like-
say
he's
Saint.
like,
right
yeah,
away.
he did, and he said, I don't care about John of Damascus. I said, what are you talking about? And he's like, he taught Theodoret's theology. I said,
That's
what?
crazy.
I'm like, what did you say?
What?
Yeah.
These guys always try to like. I don't know why they do that. They say like, oh, like he was taught by an historian. Like,
Yeah, it was like,
Yeah.
oh no, no, dude, I don't care what John of Damascus said. He's an historian. Whoa!
It's because
Yeah.
Aquinas literally says that.
And
He says
I'm
it
not
in a
gonna lie.
sense.
He
He says it in a sense. He didn't say it the way that freaking Carlos made it sound. I've read that passage from like what St.
Yeah.
Thomas or
Whoa!
Well,
Shut
there
it
you
down.
go.
Shut it down.
Oh.
sorry guys, Freudian slip.
undarkened news.
No,
that
you don't want to claim it's a Freudian slip either, because that means that it's actually in your subconscious.
his news lit up right there. That's why he said it. I'm joking.
Look, man, I used to like him. All right, I will admit that. I used to like him.
Please.
I used to like his writings. He was one of the first people I ever read that was a theologian when I was a Protestant. To be fair, so I got
Yeah,
used
like,
to, I was calling him that like when I was a Protestant because I just saw every time they referenced his name it had Saint behind it, so I just called him that because I was like, oh, I guess that's what he's referenced as, like by everybody. No, apparently not. I was also a dumb Protestant, so I also thought that if somebody had the name Saint behind them, that means that was universal across all Christianity and every denomination. So
Well, technically, like, according to Pope Leo, Pope Pius the 11th, it is. Because Pope Pius the 11th says only Catholics are Christians, so technically, it would be.
Jay, remember when you caused like a 2-week meltdown where Catholics were spurging out because you called Thomas Aquinas fat?
Zonkius just said in
Let's
chat,
forget
someone
about that
clip
one.
that Bryce is a Latin every time. Yeah, that's behind us now. All right, that's behind.
Yeah. There's no. We gotta not do stuff like that because we cause things to just get worse.
Yeah, dude, I'm really tired.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but we're
dude,
not-
every time that you call Thomas Aquinas fat, I get a DM about Saint Gregory Palamas being a Hindu Shiva avatar. So please stop.
It's because it weighs heavy on the Catholics.
Yeah.
I don't condone it. I don't condone it.
No.
I don't condone it. I don't condone it. Nobody
I think
flipped
you
this
did-
and be like,
you-
Bryce J supports calling Thomas Aquinas. Don't do it. Because I see all you guys in the chat that would do that shit. I know that there's a bunch of you in there. I'm looking at you, Divine.
Schoolboy,
do it.
I see what you did there.
No. All right, enough.
I mean, it's just a fact. It's hard for them to get around.
Saying crazy crazy things.
But I think like we can
Exactly.
appreciate.
I was
like,
gonna say something too. You see that? I read divine like a book, bro. Like I know exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because he never comes on panel, so you have to read it.
All right. Anyway,
No, define yo. I wouldn't have that, you know.
Bro, read my news.
bro, guys, stop. No. Do you know what? I want to say one thing though. Like I don't think it's bad necessarily for us to appreciate theologians in other churches. Like we can appreciate. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Saint Gennadios said himself that if Thomas Aquinas would have had the correct theology, he would have literally been the GOAT. Like there would have been nobody better than him. Like straight up. Because of the amount that he wrote and the fact that he had an answer for literally everything. Like that was huge, and that's why Gennadios appreciated him so much.
Huge,
yeah,
you say?
The format of the Summa is really good.
Well, I'm gonna drop you, bro. I'm actually gonna drop you. I'm gonna drop you, bro.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself on that one.
But it would have been so interesting if if Aquinas.
Jay, don't do it.
No. I'm saying it would have been interesting to see Aquinas debate the Greeks in Lyons, because he was meant to go.
He already debated the Greek.
Where he cited like 400 forgeries.
Oh, Gregory Palamas also cited forgeries. Like everybody cites forgeries, and even if you read,
no.
Wait, let me finish. Hold on.
Wait, based to Kokwe, bro. Based as to Kokwe.
No, look,
I'm not saying.
I haven't finished, right?
Yeah, but I don't, dude.
Wait,
I'm not saying nobody quotes. I'm not saying nobody quotes forgeries, but dude, that book was 99% forgeries. I'm not even exaggerating.
But that's not like true. Right,
yes, it is. What do you mean?
Yeah, what's your argument for being 99%?
I just deny all of them being forgeries. I run some like epistemic argument onto you.
Oh my goodness!
You were just like co-conceived.
Dude, it was.
Well, they were known. The second point it was is if you read like all of these like quote unquote forgeries. If you check all of his other works, he hardly or he never quotes them. So he knows that these might be forgeries, right? But he's just like responding, and it's quotes forgeries.
This is what I mean. When it's time to interpret your fathers, you all become psychologists all of a sudden. Like he's thinking this, or he's thinking that.
So have you read all?
Where are you getting that from?
Wait, have you read all of his work?
Jay is so freaking.
Bro, Jay's too funny.
Yeah, it's just being like an epistemic holist. I know, like that's hard for you to understand.
Look, it's not even funny. They all become psychologists.
Tag.
Real. But like if you read like somebody's whole work, then you can understand when to interpret them or what they mean in certain sections, right?
No, Rumi, we don't do that around here, bro. We take one thing out front. No, but listen. By the way, Schoolboy wants he still wants to set up that thing where that guy's going to explain tag to us. So if you want to,
Bryce, we still have to set up that space, that stage event.
I agree. Yeah, that's.
Would you be up, Rumi? Would you be up for it? I'm going to get Michael there as well.
Yeah, it'd be like.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Michael to be involved in that. I can see Rumi and Lewis, participating and being in some way, shape, or form cordial, but Michael's just gonna be like, it's actually just a defeater. It's an undercutting defeater.
Ain't gonna lie, Michael was.
Dude, that's literally why I stopped talking to him about tag, bro, because I kept telling him, I was like, it being an undercutting defeater literally presupposes your system to be the case for it to be an undercutting defeater. Like he doesn't understand the whole point. It's so frustrating to like try to explain that kind of stuff, and then they use their system anyway. It's actually crazy.
Well, Michael hates tag. Michael hates it.
I don't care if he freaking hates it. He like when he says that it's easily defeated, he uses the system to defeat it. Like which literally undermines the entire point of tag.
Yeah. Infinitism is goated, bro. Ugh. It works hand in hand with evidentialism.
Ugh.
Wait, Peter is Muslim? Wait.
What's up, Peter is Muslim?
Yo, what's up? I'm gonna keep it pretty simple, all right? Do you believe that Christ said to me?
Are you the dude that said the Atlantic Ocean was fresh water?
Yes.
Yeah, I was implying that there's a barrier in between which the Quran supports, but we're not going to get off topic.
Oh,
Do you believe-
Quranic miracle.
Do you believe that
He
Christ
said he's
has
going to
two
keep it
natures?
simple. At least he's being honest.
Do you believe that Christ had two natures?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, let me give him some time.
He said, yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting for him to look at the camera. Okay.
I can.
So,
don't
to
worry,
imply
I can multitask. I can look somewhere and listen to you. This isn't going to be a hard argument.
All right, we're going to see. So to imply that Christ had two natures is to also imply in the Christian theology that he was fully man and fully God, correct?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And to be fully man is to be fully not God, correct? Because a man can't be God.
Deny that.
You deny that. You think a man could be God. If we talk nature-wise,
it
the
only
human
applies
nature.
to it only applies to Christ, so not any man can take that on because whoever takes it on has to be divine prior.
No,
So
I'm
only
strictly
God
talking
is
about the
capable
human
of
nature
becoming
itself.
man. No man can become God or anything like that.
No, I'm talking the human nature itself. Could a human be God?
No, like I said,
No,
God must become
okay.
man. God must become man, not vice versa.
I'm not talking about God. I'm talking about the human nature. You implied that a human can't be God. So if we
When you say
substitute
human,
the words,
are you referring to a human nature
Human
or
nature
a human
cannot.
person?
Human
cannot-
nature.
Yeah, human nature cannot ascend to divine nature. It must be the other way around.
Yeah, that's like saying grass is green. So to imply, and let's substitute the words, to imply that human nature can't be God and would be a non-God, if we substitute the words, let me ask you a question. Can a person be fully God and fully not God?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be a contradiction. A person
No.
could be fully God and fully not God at the same time.
Yeah, that's fine.
Whoa, that's a clip, bro. Oh my God,
Do you
that's
have an
that's
argument? I
embarrassing.
mean, that's our position. So do you have an
Yeah, I
argument?
do have an argument. Your position. I'm showing you why your position would be a contradiction.
It's an opposition. Can you prove how it's a contradiction, rather?
Yeah, I'll prove why it's a contradiction. So to be a contradiction, in simple terms, is to be a P, not P, which is to be true and false in the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So if we apply that logic,
Is the
to
P there applying to strict identity of the being itself?
yes. If we let me substitute the words for you.
The strict identity would be
So,
the divine person taking on human nature. So that
Let
would
me
be the
substitute
concrete
the
existence.
words. Let me teach you a little bit. All right, let me substitute the words for you. So
I forgot I went back.
let's
to
use the
kindergarten.
term. Yeah, let's use the term P as the divine nature. Okay.
Mhm.
Let's use the term not P as the human nature. Okay.
Mm.
So to say a P and not P at the same time, because you can't deny that Christ in the Christian theology had these two natures at the same time. To imply that he had the human nature, which was a not P, and the divine nature, which is a P, at the same time, and they both are not each other. They both completely oppose each other. They're not the same thing at all. To imply that he had these two natures within him at the same time is to be a contradiction.
Mm-hmm. In order
Tell me
for
who
in
prove
order,
liar.
in order for it to be a contradiction, there would have to be two different concrete existences of P, and then contradiction would then derive from that. So it's not two
Yeah,
different, so
let me
it's
show
not
you
two
why.
concrete existences coming together.
Yeah,
as
let
a
me
P
show you
and
why
not
it'd be
P.
different. Yeah, let me show you why it'd be different. Does God cease to exist?
No.
Does a human cease to exist?
A person does, yes.
Does a human cease to exist?
A person, yes. I'm not
What
gonna,
do you
I'm not
like?
gonna
Yes.
say, you're gonna ask me a metaphysical question and then expect me to go yes.
Yeah.
So
Because
there's
you're trying to
metaphysics.
pull.
No,
Yeah, you're
there's
trying to pull a
metaphysics
non
involved.
sequitur. You're trying to.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I'm trying to apply you. I'm
No,
trying
it's
to
not, 'cause
show you
I
with clear logic.
$5 says he collapses nature in person. Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. So I already proved to you. Why it'd be contradiction. Now let me prove to you furthermore.
Yeah, so you still
So
haven't
you
shown why it's a
implied- you
contradiction, so
implied-
we're not moving on until you can do that.
I just did, but I'll
No,
show
you
you
didn't.
again. So let's backtrack. Let me show them again.
Mhm.
So to be a contradiction is to be a P and a not P
Yes.
in the same time.
A concrete existence,
Correct?
right? Of each.
Yes.
Yeah. So
At
that's
the
not-
same
that's not-
time,
so that's
correct?
not how
Do you
Christ
agree?
works. That's not how Christ works.
Bro. I didn't get there yet. Do
So
you
then
agree
it's
with my
not a contradiction if you agree to that.
do you agree with
No, we're not
the
an
term
historian.
contradiction? I mean, I do think you guys are historians, but anyways.
What's your argument for
So,
that?
yeah, we're not going to get out. You're trying to get me off topic by proving you're
I
a
already
historian,
answered
which is
your
pretty
argument.
simple to prove because you do believe that Christ is too. But I'm not going
To
to get
what?
into that. I want to prove how Christ itself in Christian theology is a contradiction, mainly because one nature, and don't cut me off, let me finish the whole thing. So let's use one body, for instance. One nature is the all-knowledgeable. One nature doesn't cease to exist. One nature has all these certain properties to its nature that makes it, let me talk.
Well,
that's
wrong. I'm not going to let you continue if you're just going to strawman us. Natures
all right,
don't cease to exist.
I won't strawman you. I mean, God doesn't cease to exist. That's what I was implying too. But let me apply strictly to the nature. A nature, for example, doesn't grow in knowledge. Do you agree? The divine nature.
Natures don't do anything.
Oh my God. Do natures have properties?
Yes.
Okay, give me an example of a property to the nature, the divine nature, for instance.
All-knowing.
All-knowing. Yeah, that's what I was trying to imply to. So the divine nature has certain properties to the nature, like the all-knowing and so on. Do you think that a certain property to the divine nature is to not cease to exist?
Say that one more time.
You're not going to stall and think. I know what your method is. Do you think that a divine nature has a certain property to its divine nature that doesn't cease to exist, divine nature?
I'm not really sure what you're asking. I think yes.
A simple question. Let me dumb it down for you.
Yeah,
Can a divine nature have properties, for instance, a property that does not cease to exist?
Yes.
Okay. So the divine nature has certain properties that completely oppose the human nature. Do you agree?
Yeah, it's an opposition. I agree.
Yeah, okay. So the divine nature has, for instance, the all-knowledgeable, the creator of all things, the one that doesn't cease to exist, the most powerful, for instance, and so on. Human nature
you'd say that's constituted by the person, right?
By the nature.
Yeah, so who possesses properties of nature? Because the nature itself without a hypostasis means nothing.
No, a nature that could apply to a person, but for instance, you guys apply that person has two separate natures. That's what I'm trying to show you how it'd be falsehood and it'll be contradiction. Well, I do think they're separate, but in the Christian theology, I'm not going to strawman you. Yeah, I'm not going to. You keep trying to get me off topic, but I'm not going to strawman you.
You're saying that's what it is. I'm telling you it's not. You're saying you don't want to strawman me.
So they're not separate.
No.
So they're not separate, right?
No.
They unite, correct?
Yes, they're united in the hypostasis.
All right, so they unite. Okay. So they unite in the person Christ, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and to say they unite is to say the all-knowledgeable certain property to the nature, and the other nature or the other nature has a certain property to grow in knowledge. These two unite, correct?
Yeah, the two natures are united in one person. So
I didn't ask that.
So there's two oppositional properties, two sets of properties.
Yeah, I didn't ask that. And to imply that these two natures are united within each other, to prove how it'd be contradiction is to simply ask you, can a person be all knowledgeable and not unknowledgeable in the same time?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
This is what Christianity got you to admitting?
Yeah,
a person could be all knowledgeable and not all knowledgeable.
You have to show how that's not. You have to show how that's a contradiction in God Himself.
I'll simply do that. It's so easy. So you said yes to the question I implied to you, which was, can a person be all-knowing? Let me use this term because the chat doesn't comprehend. Can a person be all-knowing and not all-knowing? The host said yes. Simply debunks the whole entire logic that we have in our minds, or the logic that we comprehend.
The person of Christ Himself wouldn't be considered like an individual, like not all-knowing property, because there was no second person that fused with Christ.
Yeah, once again, proving you're an historian. The only way that a person...
What?
Let me
hold on.
Let me talk.
Yo, I'll prove why. Just denied Nestorianism directly.
Nervous laugh.
Yeah, I literally just denied Nestorianism.
Nervous laugh.
Nope, stop talking for a sec, because now you just butchered yourself. You literally just said, what my explanation was that there was not two persons that fused together, that it was always one person, and you said that's Nestorianism. That's how I know you don't understand the position.
No, I said that you commit Nestorianism, which was what I think
how
you
did
do.
I do
Which
that?
was not
How did I
what
do
I
that?
believe you do.
How did I do that?
Yeah, let me show you why. Because I simply asked you, can a person, keyword, a person, and let's use our brains, because clearly when it comes to this theology and the Trinitarian theology, we don't use our brains. So let's use our brains. Can a person, keyword, a person, be the all-knowing and grow in knowledge, or not be the all... Okay, can a person be all-knowing and not all-knowing in the same time?
I said yes, insofar as it...
Yes, and the only way Yeah, yeah. The only way this would work logically is when you commit Nestorianism, when you believe otherwise. You don't believe that it's one exact
you-
person in the act here.
Yeah, can you define
Can I prove it?
Nestorianism for me?
Yeah, I just told you.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. To the complete opposite of Nestorianism is to believe one person, for instance, with a certain type of nature. But you, for example, you believe complete otherwise, and let me prove it to you how. Because I already proved it multiple times before, but I have to prove it again because I'm already getting clips from this. I already clipped you saying that a person can be all knowing and not all
I'm
knowing
glad
at
you're
the same
clipping that
time.
you don't understand what Nestorianism is. Keep going. Keep
Okay,
explaining
tell
it.
me. Okay, you define it for me.
Nestorianism specifically is believing that prior to the incarnation there was two persons, and after the
Yeah, two
incarnation there
persons.
was two persons. And so then
Good.
They, so
Is
then
it-
the,
is it
so then
complete-
the properties would be constituted in two different persons, which then would also necessitate
Good.
two different natures. But you just said that the opposite of
No,
Nestorianism
no,
is
we're not gonna
believing
get off
in
topic.
one person. That's what you said, which
No,
is not, which is
no,
not
I
the
said
case.
that's the opposite.
Oh
We
yeah,
could-
yeah,
I could
yeah.
clip
The
it and you go
opposite
back.
of Nestorianism is what? One person, you said, right?
Okay, yeah, and would that be complete opposite of two persons? Because I know that Nestorianism contains two
Yeah,
persons,
I
which is
understand. I
what I
understand
believe
it
you
would be
believe in.
considered an opposite, but we affirm diophysitism.
Yeah.
Do you know what
Sherlock
diophysitism is
would be
versus
the opposite.
monophysitism?
So what I said is wrong.
It's not.
Like
it is,
what?
It is incorrect. You posited it wrong. So
You just
diophysitism
said it would
versus
be the opposite.
monophysitism. No.
Bro, once again, bro,
Not
once
directly
again,
in
bro.
that. I told you that it wouldn't be the opposite in the way that you're making it. So until
Yeah,
I said
okay.
there's a
Well, you
difference
just
between
said yes before, bro.
diophysitism
We're
and
not gonna get off topic.
monophysitism.
Yeah,
This is
yeah, we're not
literally
gonna get off
directly
topic.
related to this topic.
Okay, yeah. Let's not get off topic. Let me get to my point. Let me
How
get
is
to
this
my
not on topic?
yeah. Let me get to my sip of tea here. All right, bud. Now let me offer up a simple question for you. Can a person, and I want to hear a yes or no again, so I could get another clip in. Can a person be seen and unseen in the same time?
Yes.
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 A person, keyword, I said person. Can a person be seen and unseen at the same time?
They could be seen insofar as possessing a human body, but they could be unseen in terms of their underlying nature. Yes.
No, I'm implying the person, Jesus Christ. I'm implying to the person,
the
Jesus
person
Christ.
constitutes two
That
different
he-
natures, though.
Yeah, which is why I'm showing you why this dogma
Yeah,
would
so
be
he can be
complete-
both. He can
would-
be visible
you
insofar
keep
as
cutting me off.
possessing a human body, and then he can be unseen
Yeah.
insofar as the divine
Yeah,
nature.
you just bury yourself. You know, a property. List off, would a property to a human nature be spirit, soul, brain, and so on?
Brain.
Would these in your logic, do you think that these would be
Brain.
properties to the human nature?
Brain.
Yeah, just tell me. Do you think these
in
are properties to the human nature?
simplistic sense, we could say it's constituted of soul and body.
Okay, so to say that a soul and a body is properties to a human nature, would that be logical or not logical?
Say that again. I was reading chat.
To say that a person has a soul and a spirit, would that be, or properties to the human nature, would that be logical or illogical? And I I don't know why you, I don't know why you talking hard in the chat when I already clipped you multiple times.
Yeah, that'd be logical because he would possess a rational soul from his humanity, and he would also possess the
Okay.
spirit. He would also possess the divine spirit as well.
Okay, no need for the babbling. We already got to the point. You said yes.
That was a
okay.
babble.
So, yeah, because you're babbling. It's a simple question, yes or no. We don't need to waste time.
So
Because I know you're trying to get me away.
So I
from the
can't
question.
explain my positions. You just need yes or no questions. And
No,
then walk
you
away
no,
like
you
the
could.
Dawa script.
No. You could.
So then
talk
maybe
about
you
your
should be
position,
maybe you should actually
but
be
there's no
genuine with
need.
me and actually have a conversation instead of just trying to get like little yes or no simple clips instead of, I'm trying to have like an actual genuine conversation with you and you're being dishonest with me.
No, we're
how
not being
have I been
dishonest. 'cause
disrespectful
it's
to you?
logic. No, and I'm not being disrespectful to you.
I mean, you are, but all right.
How?
Because
To
of the
say-
way,
no,
because of the
to
way that
say-
you're because of the way that you're acting aggressive, and you're not actually addressing things.
No,
when I
no, bro.
say yes, we affirm this certain thing insofar as, and then I explain the position, you're babbling. What do you mean? I'm
No,
babbling?
it's like
I'm
you asked
explaining
me,
my
hey,
position.
do you like? Yeah, it's like you asked me, hey, do you like spaghetti? And I tell you, yes, I like spaghetti because of the sauce and the meatball. Like we get the point.
Yeah,
Just say yes, you like
a
spaghetti.
subjective preference question requiring a simple answer makes complete sense.
Bro.
Yes.
All right. So you implied that yes, a person could be
I'm glad that you
all-knowing.
understand why that was a false analogy. Thank you. So what's your next thing?
All right. So you already said yes to a person could be all-knowing and not all-knowing, right?
Yeah, because Christ has two minds. Hello?
His mum walked in.
His mom walked in. He's not supposed to be doing dawah at this hour.
Peter, once you're done with Bryce, I'd like to speak to you, sir.
Give me a sec. My mom came in.
Yeah. See, I knew it. I knew his mum came in.
Oh,
Yo, okay, I could talk now. My mom came in. My bad. All right.
Why are you whispering now?
Because he's not supposed to be doing dawah at his age. Go ahead.
Peter, how can you trust your own memories? What's the justification for knowing your memories are reliable?
You could call it. You could say my mom came in my room. Cool.
How's that answering the question?
I'm not. I'm simply asking questions about your own theology.
Your mom shot at
This
you.
is like a
for shouting so
Libiano
loud.
level argument, bro, which is saying something.
No, okay, yeah. Cool. You're so lucky that she
you
came
got
in,
this,
bro.
bro. You got this,
I got my chef hat on right now. I got my chef keep on right now.
Peter, stop shouting. Your mom's gonna come back in.
That's pretty corny.
This guy
I'm not
thinks
gonna
he's
lie.
so good.
Peter,
All right, cool. Let's get to the point. All right, let's get to the point. Okay.
Lower your volume, Peter.
All right. So Bryce. Oh, and I'm the one that's being disrespectful, right? Hey, Bryce.
Yeah, I'm just matching energy. What's
Could
up?
you hear me? Just say yes.
Yeah,
Yo,
hear me?
Peter.
I'm just matching your energy, man. What's up?
Peter,
All right,
you're
my
the dog that
energy's pretty high
said,
right
yeah,
now.
Trinitarians don't use their brains, Christians don't use their brains. So don't come here acting all like you're some victim.
No. When it comes to Trinitarian theology or philosophy, for instance, Christians don't use their brain. It's pretty simple. Because to say that three persons hold the title the true God, and the true God, if you use from that instance, it'll be a singular word. But if you apply it to three persons, which is a plurality of persons, you have to, for example, logically add the plural
How's that an
noun to the
argument?
term God because it's applied to
How
three
is that an
persons. Now we're not going to get off
How's
logic.
that an
We're
argument?
not going to get off topic.
How's that an
We're going
argument?
to stick.
How's that an argument? What's the argument?
2,000 years of theology.
What's the argument for the Trinitarian philosophy being three gods?
How was Saint Peter a Muslim? Was he the supreme head of the Nutty Nuns?
Hey, bro. Do you want me to prove
The
that you
supreme
know
head
Trinitarian
of the-
theology
Has
is
the
three-
Mahdi appeared?
Oh, good one, bro. Good one. All right, let's get to the Trinitarian theology.
Wait, Peter, wait. Actually, I got a question. Wait, Peter, I got a question. Real talk.
Real
let me
talk.
ask you,
So,
are
Mike,
you Ashari?
what?
Are you Ashari? What's your Aqidah?
I'm a Sunni, bro.
You're
he's
Sunni.
the
What?
first LFA from his house.
Yeah, what's your Aqidah? I don't care if you're Sunni, whatever. What's your Aqidah? What creed do you follow?
What creed? Undecided, bro. Undecided.
So
Wait,
you don't
know your own God.
Wait, you
Oh,
don't
it's not
even
that
know.
I don't
Wait, so
know.
you don't even know like your own God. So okay, tell me right now, does Allah have hands or no?
Nope. Hey, before we get into this, notice how they just shifted the goalposts and
Yeah,
got me
don't
off.
fuss.
I'll tell you what, Peter. All right, you can.
Bryce,
ask me,
you see
can
how
ask
we
me-
got we
hold
quickly
on,
got
hold
off
on.
Trinitarian philosophy.
Peter,
We ran from it so
Peter,
fast.
work with
It's
me.
like Manute Ball, for instance.
Work with me, dude. All right, I've answered all these questions. You can ask another. Ask one more
No,
question.
I didn't land the plane,
Dude,
bro. It's like I'm in the
yeah,
my,
yeah,
my
because you
plane
haven't.
is-
Yeah, because you haven't taken off. You have to take off first.
I have.
So then
I have
you
taken
can ask
off.
one more
I
question.
already have a clip.
You can ask one more question, and then you can turn the ignition off, and then you can let Lewis drive. All right, go ahead.
All right. So to say that my plane is actually 100 miles above Earth level is to say, because we all know that my plane is going quick and fast in the sky. I have a clip because I had you admit that a person, keyword, a person could be all knowing,
ask him the question.
not all. I'm
Ask
getting
him the
cut off,
question.
bro. Could I talk? I'm
Ask
gonna
him
ask
the
the question
question.
after I prove that I clipped him. Bryce over here,
you
this
proven it
gentleman
to?
over here said that a person can be all knowing and not
Stop
all knowing
commentating.
at the
And
same time.
Now, here's the thing. All right, you said that. You said that I said that. I did. Now,
Do you agree
can
to
you
it, though?
explain?
Before you
Can
say-
you explain my argument?
You never stated an argument.
I did. I said that he would
No, you
be.
did. Okay,
I said that he would
now.
be all knowing insofar as possessing a divine mind, and he would be not all knowing insofar as possessing a human mind.
Oh, so there's two so fars in this logic here, right?
Yeah, there's a.
Which is exactly why you
there's a
are
twofold
Nestorius.
existence,
This is
yes.
exactly.
How is
yeah,
that? How is
yeah,
that
this is
Nestorianism?
exact-
How does it lead to that?
Yeah, pretty simple. Because you're saying a person has two minds, basically. Does Christ have two
How does
minds?
that? How does that? How is that
Does
Nestorianism?
Christ have two minds?
Yes.
We're gonna see.
Yes.
Does Christ have two minds?
Yes.
Christ has two minds.
Yes. Does mind equal person?
Bro,
I'm just curious. Is that in all
bro.
possible? Is that in all possible situations? A mind equals person?
No, to say
Yes. Mind
to
equals
say
person in all situations.
no, I didn't agree. No, I said let me talk.
So it doesn't.
To say let me talk. To say that a person, we're not gonna if we're not gonna be honest, we're not gonna let each other speak. Then because you said you want to hear my take on it. To say that a person has two minds that completely oppose each other would be a contradiction. The only way you could pull this off is if you're pulling Nestorianism here.
Yeah, so I'm not Nestorian. So what's your argument for me being
Yeah, yes you
Nestorian?
are.
How?
Yeah, because you just said that a person could. Yeah, let me talk. Because you just admitted blatantly you said that a person could have two minds that oppose each other.
So how is that Nestorianism?
Yeah, because it's a contradiction to say that a person could contain two minds.
How is that
Let me finish.
Nestorianism?
Let me show why. Let me show you why. Because to say a person, bro, you're getting just like God logic, bro. I can't even say I can say no logic, bro. You got clipped so many times, and you're next on my list, bro. To say that a person, listen. To say that a person, bro, it was so funny yesterday, bro. This dude. Bro, it was so funny, bro. Like, the clips were so funny. To say that a person, right, could have two minds that completely oppose each other and go against each other would be a contradiction.
They don't go against each other.
They don't go. They're in synergy.
They don't go.
they're in
Okay,
synergy.
so do they oppose each other?
They oppose each other insofar as some of their
Good.
properties.
No.
Insofar
Okay.
as some of their properties, but they don't oppose each
Okay,
other
good.
in reality because they are in synergy with each other. They're in unity.
Okay, good. And to stick with that logic, because when we talk that they oppose each other knowledge-wise, to say this, would they agree with each other if you oppose each other knowledge-wise? Like if two things oppose each other, hence, like if we talk speaking from a knowledge certain point of view,
No,
and
the
these
divine,
two
the divine
knowledges,
mind provides knowledge to the human knowledge.
so the divine mind produces knowledge for the complete opposite nature, correct?
Yes.
Yes?
So what is
Yes.
what is your argument against that?
Yes?
Yes. The divine
So-
nature, the knowledge of the divine
Whoa.
nature. Let me go ahead and explain it.
Oh
The
my
knowledge of the
God.
divine nature, right, provides knowledge to the mind, the human mind of Jesus Christ.
Whoa. So now, because we're like going in different routes. You started off with saying they could unite.
What's so hard
They-
for
listen,
you to understand?
Bruv, let me talk. You said that they unite. Now you're talking about how they interfere together. Now
They don't
you just
interfere.
you just
How is that
no.
interference?
Okay, define to interfere what that would mean.
To manipulate in a negative manner.
Yeah. So
Oh,
to
you didn't think
interfere
I'd
with
answer that,
something.
did you?
Yeah, let me talk. You didn't answer it in the way that I wanted to hear it because you're trying to answer it.
glad
Now
that's
listen,
what
you're
you're
trying to
looking for.
answer it. No, you're trying to answer it in a different meaning, which is not the actual root meaning. So to say with something
your belief,
interferes with
man.
something
Let's
is
talk
to
about your
say
God.
something. Yeah, let me talk. So he listed how the divine nature or the divine mind added onto the human mind. I said this is interference because you're interfering with the separate nature, or not separate, with the other nature. And do you agree or disagree?
What does interfering mean again to you?
Yeah, just like what you said, but in a different instance.
What is the different instance?
Different instance. Yeah,
What
to
is
say
that?
something interferes. Yeah, let me tell you why. To say something interferes with something is to say something basically like I don't know how to define it in
How do you
simple
know what the
terms.
root meaning is when I
It's
gave you a
the-
definition and you can't even define it?
Yeah, because the root meaning you gave me isn't the root meaning that's the actually
You
logical
can't even
root
define
meaning.
your own.
I can.
Do
No,
it.
I could
Wait.
define it. No,
Peter,
hold up. Let me
Peter.
talk. I could define it, but it's hard to define. It's like saying
Bryce,
Then
It's
how
like
do you know
saying
that I'm how do you know that
define
I'm
a
incorrect then?
No, you know when there's these certain types of words you can't define, but you have it in your mind. Like it's like define the word together. Like
Okay,
it's like
so if you
kind
can't
of hard to
define
like.
it, then how do
Let's
you know
let's
that
pull
I'm
up Google.
incorrect?
Let's see.
How do you know that
No,
I'm incorrect
no,
if you can't
no,
define it?
because your meaning isn't the root word meaning. Let's go to Google.
You
Let's
don't
see if
know
it
what
proves
the root
otherwise.
word meaning is.
I do actually. Let's not
Well
straw man
said,
each
you
other.
know-
Go to Google. Let's pull up
No,
Google.
no,
Really
Bryce,
said-
Bryce,
Let's look up
Bryce.
the root word
I
meaning of
answered
interfere.
my questions
Bryce.
to you. How about you let Lewis
No,
answer
don't
the
run.
questions? I already
No,
answered
Bryce,
all
Bryce,
of your
Bryce,
questions
Bryce.
and explained
Bryce,
everything.
Muzzle.
Bryce, this is bad, Bryce. Do you know
Bryce,
if
no,
you
no, no.
you
We're
imply
not gonna
that
let this
these
happen.
natures mixed together, you completely destroy your philosophy?
They
Do
don't
you know
mix.
this?
Peter,
Yeah,
you're
let's
slow.
see.
Peter.
Look up the term.
They
Calm down.
synergize. They
Yeah,
don't mix.
for the chat to see. And we're saying Google like nobody's using Google. Let's look up the
Well,
term
Peter-
interfere. Interference.
Wait,
Look it
you're
up.
dumbass.
Dude, that's
Like,
literally
what?
completely irrelevant to your whole argument.
It is.
Yeah.
I'll show you why. Look up the term interference.
You admitted that it is, so why are you trying to get through with it?
Look up the term interference. Let's not run away.
Dude, you're harping on a word. Interfere.
Bryce, this guy's so
That
slow.
I
word
gave
Bryce,
you
destroy
multiple
theology.
words. I gave you union. I gave you in union. I gave you synergize. I gave you all of the other words to talk about how
Bro,
there's an
Bryce, do you
indwelling of
know-
the two natures without them actually becoming one directly. And you're using
Yes,
the
do
word
you know-
interfere.
do you-
I said that normally implies what I said.
Interfere
then
is such
I'm
an easy
saying that
word
it's
to define, bro.
Yeah,
but
so
it's
I
like
gave you
can't
all of
actually-
our positional words for it. So you using a word that's not actually proper to our system would be considered dishonest to an internal critique. So do you want to actually
Yeah.
continue?
Yeah, I know you want to run away from it, but let me
Can
tell
you
you
explain
something,
how
Bryce.
I'm running from that?
Yeah, let me tell you why. I'll gladly tell you why. Because to say, and if we pull up the actual root word definition, because we all know in our minds, logically, we know what the term interference means. And to imply that something interferes with another thing is to imply that something like sort of like touches upon, I don't know, like, you know what I mean, but like something,
PR,
like something
PR.
not
Dude.
touches,
No,
but
no,
like,
no.
but
Bryce,
to
Bryce,
agree with
Bryce,
that,
muzzle him.
listen,
Bryce,
let's not,
muzzle
bro,
this
you're
guy.
so
Stop,
afraid.
bro.
Let me talk. To say something mixes with another thing, it would completely destroy your theology. Because if you agree with me that something mixes with another thing, it would
doesn't
it would
mix.
it would turn your thing around and land it head first.
I know, it doesn't
Now,
mix.
could we go on Google? Yeah, okay, let's see about that. Go to Google, look up interference for us.
Wait, Peter, I heard you
Yeah,
say something. You said that the word has a definition that's logical to us. What does it mean for a word to have a logical definition?
We're gonna see.
Wait, no, what does it mean?
Logical,
Can
not
you-
illogical like the host does. He lies.
Can you
upon
stop-
me.
can you-
Why are we using Google?
Not being logical with words.
Wait,
what's
what's the justification for trusting
lexical
Google?
realism?
No,
Yeah,
I'm not.
exactly.
No, I'm,
Wait,
yeah.
Peter, you a
Lewis,
lexical realist?
What does that even mean?
Doesn't
The
mean
word
anything.
has a logical definition.
It
Yeah,
doesn't. This
someone
guy's slow.
interprets something
He's
illogical.
low
They
tier.
would say they
All right,
cannot.
Peter. Okay. Do you believe your God has a hand?
Okay, look at him. He's trying to get off topic.
I don't care. Does your God have a hand?
Dude,
yes or no?
Interference has
Not
like
visible.
8 definitions.
Let's see on
man.
the
Like, which one
screen.
do you
Let's see on
want?
the screen.
All right.
Let's see
Yeah,
on the
but
screen.
you're presupposing
All right,
lexical realism.
look up interference synonyms,
Synonyms.
please.
Wait, but what's the argument for lexical
Alrighty,
realism?
go down. It's blurry.
Wait,
I
Peter.
can't see it. Go up. No,
Peter.
don't skip those words, bro. Look at them.
What do you
Okay.
mean? Look at them. It's the website.
No, go back because it just showed
The
us
AI.
some words.
Do you want to
Let's
do
see
this
it.
again? Do you want me to pull the clip where you admitted
No,
the
this
Atlantic
is-
Ocean is
this is
fresh
slow.
water because of AI, bro?
Go up. Okay, now zoom in because it's like blurry. I can't see the words.
This is so slow,
It is blurry.
We're gonna see if it's slow.
bro.
Wait,
I'm gonna,
but-
bro.
but
I
Peter-
swear, I will destroy.
Okay, no,
you know, I'm gonna destroy
trespassing.
you.
I see something.
I'm gonna
Nope,
destroy.
nope,
Which
nope,
one
we're
do you
not.
think
Nope,
after?
we're not. We're afraid. Look, you guys are afraid.
Would you say
No,
that?
no, no,
Would you say that
Peter, I'm
trespassing
gonna
is a
embarrass you.
positive term?
To my argument, yes. Go left
To
a little
your
bit.
argument, yes, trespassing is a positive
Yeah, against
term.
your theology. Go left. Go left.
What do you mean go left?
I can't see the other words. Trespass. Okay. Now, I already got the words. You can exit out.
These are.
I want to
these
look at
are-
you.
Wait, I got a question. What's
No,
the
not in a
argument
weird
for
way.
lexical realism?
Okay. Okay. So to say, listen, do you agree that the divine nature trespasses the human nature?
I wouldn't use those words, no.
Why wouldn't she use those words?
Because
That's clear sermon.
those words have negative connotations to them.
I know it does. I know it's
Yeah,
negative
so then
towards your
therefore it
argument,
wouldn't be
towards
part of our
theology.
theology. No, it
So
wouldn't be
let's
towards
substitute
our
the
theology.
words. Let's substitute the
Do
words
you
because
know
you
how
can't
an
answer
internal
it. You
critique
like,
works at all?
yeah. Let's substitute the words. Look, he's asking me questions over
Yo,
questions.
Bryce, mute him for a
Listen,
sec.
look, they're afraid. Look,
He's
they're
just
cutting
gonna
me off.
unmute
Hey,
himself.
clips.
He's just gonna keep unmuting himself.
Yo,
Clippers.
Peter.
Yeah,
It's
look,
like,
look,
yeah,
he's afraid.
okay, Peter.
He's afraid.
Peter,
Can I
Peter.
talk?
Hello.
To say,
Let me
would
get
it
a
be
sentence
logical
out.
to
Let me
say
get
that the
a
human
sentence
nature,
out.
would it be
Let me
logical to say that?
All right, stop.
Yo, let me
We're
get a
done,
sentence
bro.
out, Peter.
We're done.
All right.
No,
For
I'm gonna
example,
leave it.
look.
We're being-
These guys,
we're
they
done.
have a hadith. They have a hadith where it says that Allah descends to the lowest heaven.
Bryce is scared, bro.
I'm
All
scared.
right,
Yes,
Peter.
I'm terrified.
Look, Bryce.
Peter.
Yeah. So now
Peter.
now actually defend your
Yeah,
religion.
you-
I've
yeah, you
defended
just
my
be
religion for the
yourself.
past 30 minutes. So now defend your religion.
Yeah,
Yo, Peter,
look, hey,
Peter.
look.
Stop, bro.
Peter.
Come on.
Peter, if you're trying to force us to use certain
Louis,
words,
bro,
I'm going to
this is
force you
fine,
to use
bro.
certain
Could've
words. And
laughed
you know the
if you
hadith?
answered my line.
The hadith where it says that Allah descends, I want you to say that hadith means that Allah drops. Use the word drop. I bet you're
Yeah,
going to
look.
say, no, we don't use that word. But why are you trying to force words upon us that we don't use in our theology when we talk theology proper?
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, if you could stop muting me, it would
I will.
really
You have to, you
All
have
right,
to let
Peter,
Louis, you have to let
does
Louis
Peter,
talk.
Yeah,
Peter, does Allah drop?
yeah. I already heard your question, bro. Could I answer or no?
Go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. So, number one, I'm gonna answer your question on God if you let me talk. So, Bryce over here couldn't answer me.
All right, so answer the question, right?
And
I'm gonna keep muting you.
I
If
promise I'm gonna
unmute
embarrass you in your God.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. You're gonna answer the question.
Look.
You're gonna answer the question, bro. Stop filibustering. Okay, answer the question in its true form. Once I unmute you this next time,
Bryce,
if you don't
notice how.
address it, I'm going to kick
Look
you.
at him, bro.
Yeah.
Notice how he
I'm
wanted yes or
running.
no
Answer
before,
my
but he
question,
can't
bro.
answer.
That's your religion.
I answered your questions for 30 minutes, bro. You can answer
No,
one question from him.
You don't want to use the term trespassing because it completely
Yeah, because
destroys your
because
theology.
because
Hence
it's
why
just
you're
not-
allowing
it's
a
not
what
proper
if we
term
use-
theology.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Peter. So
I know.
let's
So
okay,
now,
Peter. So let's
let
use.
Louis
It's a
show you.
contradiction.
No, it doesn't show.
That's what I'm
a
trying
Let's-
to prove
okay.
to you. It's a
Let Louis
contradiction.
go ahead and
Peter,
actually
You just
Peter,
admitted that
Peter,
the
All right,
trespassing
Peter,
challenge should be a
stop,
contradiction.
stop. Are you gonna address
Peter,
yes
what's
or
wrong
no?
with
Are
you
you gonna
talking
run?
about?
Are you gonna
trespass
run?
each other.
Are you gonna run from your God? Yes or no?
Do they
Are
trespass?
you?
We could talk
No,
about
no, stop. Are you gonna run from your God? Yes or
Do
no?
they trespass each other?
Are you going to run? Yes or no?
Okay, I won't concede to
So
the
no,
argument.
no, I'm not conceding to the argument. I already
Concede to the
explained.
argument and
I
we'll
already
move on.
explained how it's not a contradiction.
No,
I
you
showed
did
that it's an
not. Do they
opposition,
trespass
not
each
in
other?
contradiction.
Do they
They
trespass
do not
each other?
trespass each other because
Concede
that's
to
not
the
a proper
argument. We
word.
can move on.
That's
I'll
not a proper
happily
word.
answer his questions.
That's
if you
not a
concede.
proper word. So we don't use that
I know.
word in
Yeah,
theology.
yeah. It's not proper
So
to
it's
your
not a
logic.
concession. It's just not a
To
proper
you,
internal
not the
critique.
actual definition.
It's not a proper
Yeah.
internal critique. Do you want to try? This is your last chance,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Do
Do they
your
trespass each other?
This is your last chance, bro.
Concede.
I've been really nice about this, keeping you up here. Do you want
You
to try
haven't
one more
answered any
time?
of my questions.
All right, get out.
You haven't answered.
I haven't answered any of his questions, right? But he's been up here for 30 to 45 minutes. I've answered every single question and gave explanations for every single point. I haven't answered a single question. How disingenuous is that guy? How do you get that bad? That's insanity.
Listen.
By the way, just want to go ahead and expose this freaking idiot real quick. I want to bring up a clip the other day of him admitting that the Atlantic Ocean is fresh water. Since he wants to do that.
Maybe he's drank too much salt water today and he thought it was fresh water.
By the way, Bryce, I wanted to give him an example. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Even in his theology. Oh, actually, go and play the clip.
1 second. All right. 6 cities up.
Good question. This is so low tier, man. To there, Moses.
Town.
It's a prophet. What are you talking
It's
about?
regarding a city of Lot, bro. There was a town called Lot.
Let me just give you another verse.
Can I, wait. Before you do, can I ask you a question?
Can you let
Go
John
ahead.
ask something real quick? All right, and we'll move on.
Yeah. If there's even one. Okay, wait.
Hold on. Where is it at?
Or C.
Yeah.
Or
Oh, here we
berries
go.
of water.
Do you even know what that is?
I don't care what it is. I'm asking him a question. Do you see a barrier?
Yes, I do.
You do?
I see a barrier.
All right. Now look up this verse for me.
All right. Mind you, by the way, this is the Mediterranean Sea and Atlantic Atlantic Ocean barrier. Just so you're aware. Get ready for this.
Come on,
And
man.
before I pull up the verse, look up Red Sea and Arabian Sea barrier. I want to see what it shows. I've never seen this before, but I just want to see what it shows. Go to the left.
Okay, it doesn't show me this.
Well, like I said, I'm not too educated on that. I'm more educated.
Do you want me to educate
Don't
you?
cut me off. I'm more educated on deconstructing Christianity. But if I have to look more into this,
He's more
isn't-
educated on
this
deconstructing
isn't
Christianity
proving
than
what
his
you
own
think
religion,
it's
by the way.
proving. Do you know what that
He admitted
is?
that.
what is it? Go ahead, tell me.
It's what happens when two different temperatures or densities of water.
Right there.
Oh my gosh.
Right there. Okay.
Sir.
That's
All right.
not even
Notice
fresh
the
and
verse
salt
he uses?
water.
That's
That's salt
okay,
and
okay, now
salt
go
water.
back. Okay, good. Now go back to the image. Go back. Now look both
Mediterranean Sea and separates Spain.
in Mediterranean. Oh,
Water.
bro, go back.
I did.
Go back.
Where's it at? The Strait of Gibraltar, but they maintain
The
some
dad-
saltier water.
Alhamdulillah, bro.
What do you mean,
Bro,
alhamdulillah?
no,
It's
look,
they're
salt
both-
and
No,
salt
hold up.
water.
No. Don't cut me off. Don't cut me off.
You're
A
so
barrier,
stupid.
look, a barrier that prevents mixing. A barrier that prevents mixing. Go back to the verse, please.
Of salt and
Go back
salt
to the
water?
no, go back to the word. Bro,
Wait,
what does
wait,
it say?
hey, dummy.
He murders us. It's a barrier that be the whole thing. Is it
Which
right
one
in
is
front of
fresh?
you? He's gonna try to run away. Is that
Which
what?
one
I don't
is fresh
care.
water?
In the Atlantic Ocean don't mix is because there's a difference in density.
Mixing what? Yeah, it says the den. Go left. Go to left so I can see.
Yeah,
the-
yeah.
so I
Which
can
one
see
is
the whole
which
thing.
one is the freshwater?
Yeah, it says the denser, saltier water of the Mediterranean sinks below the less dense, less salty water from the Atlantic Ocean, treating a barrier that prevents
All right.
mixing.
Now hold on.
So-
No, hold on. Wait.
Let me tell you
I'm not
what's
done.
going
I'm not done. Is the Atlantic Ocean freshwater?
Is Atlantic Atlantic Ocean fresh water?
Yes.
I already
Is it
told you I'm
saltwater?
not
Is
too
it
educated
saltwater or
upon this, but
freshwater?
all I see,
I'm not
I know
too
that.
educated on this.
No,
No
but
way.
it says no on this term, but it says that prevents mixing, a barrier that prevents mixing. That's what the verse is talking
The
about.
previous verse refutes it. It says it's a barrier,
No,
two bodies of
no.
fresh and salt
It
water.
is this, let me see the verse. Let me see the verse.
Look, read the top.
It says, it says he merges the two bodies of fresh and salt water. Go down.
Between them, there's a barrier. Yeah.
There's a barrier they never cross.
Okay.
And let's go back to the
Now-
Google. Let's go.
yeah.
Let's go back. It says a
Which
barrier.
one is fresh?
Which body's fresh?
It says a barrier. It says a barrier
one
that
is
prevents
fresh?
mixing. Now, quick question: mixing what?
Which one is fresh
No,
and
mixing
salt
what?
water?
Mixing what?
With this scenario, it's the density.
The density. Okay, now be more like talk more about the density. What define that for me? Like I don't go back to the Quran verse.
All right.
No.
Okay, and then go down.
John, this isn't real
Yet
life. This is a fever
between-
dream.
Yet
You're
between
joking,
them is a
dude.
barrier they never cross.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
the
that
You're
fresh and
Peter
salt water
Lorre
don't
Lorre.
mix.
says a barrier that prevents mixing. A barrier they never cross.
Yes, I
Let's think
agree.
this some
I
more, bro.
agree that fresh and salt water don't mix. I agree.
Like, bro, let's think there's some more. This is clearly from God. You're just
It
trying to
is,
deny
it,
it.
is, it is a miracle from Allah.
Whatever.
The
You,
Atlantic-
dude, there's no
Barrier that prevents mixing. A barrier
Just
they never
drop
cross.
this clown. I'm
A
dropping him.
barrier
insane,
that
bro.
prevents mixing. A barrier that never.
I'm
cross.
dropping him, Bryce.
A barrier that prevents mixing.
Yeah. Dude, bro literally said the Atlantic Ocean was freshwater. GG's. To make the Quranic miracle be the case. So that's the level of what we're working with here, chat. That's the
Bro,
way that works.
he's really high. Here. Look, I wanted to make a point. Yeah, he's what was the term he was using? For the
Trespassing.
Trespassing the nature.
yeah, because look, if we start doing that with them, okay. So what about the hadith where it says that Allah descends to the lowest heaven? Can I switch the word descend with the word drop? Allah drops to the lowest heaven. He's going to say no. So
Well,
why
you
is he?
can drop with plop. Like, do you know when something comes out
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
toilet
yeah,
and it
yeah.
just plops?
It
you
plops,
know?
yeah. Does Allah plop to the lowest heaven? See, that's the point. Like, we can't start just switching out words. We have to use the words that have been set out, because theology is supposed to be precise. And so you don't just use terms that have vague, similar meanings when you're talking theology proper.
Wow.
That's why when we say divine person, like, we don't mean like what the general definition of in the Oxford Dictionary of what a person is. Like, we mean hypostasis, and then that has a lot of baggage with it.
Dude.
No, he embarrassed himself.
Of course he did. Because he doesn't actually hold to
By the way,
his
Peter,
own critique.
I promise you, if you debated me one-on-one, yeah, on whether or not the Islamic theology is coherent with any of the three schools of Aqidah, I promise you I would destroy you.
He doesn't even know what Akida he is, bro.
But you can pick any part of Islam and make your epistemology bankrupt with the continuity argument on you.
Yeah. You can never prove Muhammad's a prophet.
Yeah. But you gotta set a test for the Muslims when they come up. If they pass the test, they can ask questions. You know.
That's crazy.
What's the test?
You said you can.
Wait, Peter.
Peter, if you want to come up here and have a conversation, I'm more than willing to do that. Okay.
Yeah,
can talk
Peter,
with
we're gonna
Lewis
talk
this
about-
topic. All right, and that's what we can have a
Yeah.
conversation about. I answered your questions for about 30 to 45 minutes on the natures of Christ. I showed you how they're not contradictory and how we can only consider them as opposed insofar as the natures themselves and not in the person. Therefore, showing the one concrete existence by itself is not contradictory in any sense. So if you want to come up here and have the conversation,
Yeah, he could
and if you
talk to me.
filibuster and you harp on the stuff that we just talked about, saying I conceded, or you use a bunch of rhetoric nonsense, I'm just going to boot you again. But I'll bring you back up here if you actually want to have that conversation. All right? I'm willing to be charitable if you are.
Yeah, Bryce, he can speak to me or Rumi. We're going to talk about Muhammad's continuity with the prior prophets. Let's see if the Quran is in continuity with what came prior.
I'll
Peter?
talk to him. Hold up. I just want to talk to Bryce really quick.
He's going to do it.
Don't tap dance.
No, I'm not.
Don't tap
I'm
dance.
not. Hold up. Don't
He's
put it
already
against
doing
me.
it. He's already
told
doing
you.
it.
No. I'm not. Look. Don't be afraid. It's gonna.
Look,
I'll take it easy.
Fire control.
Before, bro, I told you if you remain with me on this term, interfere, it's gonna destroy your theology. And then you remain with me. You kept going with me, and then we went to this, and then it
told you that
completely.
interfere is not
And
a
then I
proper
asked
word.
you. I asked you. Oh yeah, to you. I asked you the cherry on top
Peter,
question. You couldn't
Peter,
answer.
He doesn't
Is
understand what I'm
wait.
saying. He does not even understand what
You
I'm
couldn't
saying.
answer it.
Peter,
You
is
told you it doesn't apply to our theology.
The main
All right,
question.
all right.
Peter.
Stop. Now answer Lewis. Actually address this.
I will.
Peter.
I answered this.
Concede that
I'm
you
not
couldn't answer my
conceding
question.
to it. I answered it.
Because you can't answer my question,
I
you bastard.
answered your
You avoid
question.
my question. You show me.
Look, see, he can't actually come up here without having the conversation because he's terrified to defend his God. He actually can't do it.
Bryce, do
I
you mind
defended mine for 45 minutes. But he cannot
Can you
actually
pull
come up
out-
here and have a conversation about his. What?
Can you pull out Quran? Can you pull out Surah 6, verse 108?
Oh yeah, do not insult those
Yeah.
gods unless they insult yours before you.
Mm-hmm. So carry on insulting, because I heard them call you a bastard. Carry on insulting, but all you're going to do is you're going to go against your Quran.
Yeah, be a good boy.
Yeah. So don't insult, because the Quran says we will insult Allah. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to do what the Quran says, because you insulted us. So we're going to insult Allah as according to the Quran, chapter 6, verse 108.
Exactly, because Allah just says if you insult Ahlul Kitab, then you. Oh, Lord help me.
So, Peter, if you're still in here, if you want to have a conversation about what Lewis wants to address, you can come back up here. If you yap and filibuster again on how I somehow did not answer your questions, then we're just going to be done. It's as simple as that.
You can speak to either me or Rumi, I don't mind.
Do you agree to just have the conversation? They want to have a friendly conversation with you. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like why you're
we're
avoiding
nice.
it.
I'm nice. Look, I got a profile picture of like a woman or some shit. Like you think that's like someone that's gonna harm you? I'm not
Peter,
gonna bite.
I'm not kidding, bro. If it happens again, I'm just going to be done. I'm going to offer you one more chance to take the floor.
Rumi, you
can
take
talk
it.
to them, all right? So just go straight
Yeah,
into it and just answer the questions. If you're going to do fire control again, damage control, then we're done.
Yeah, I'll answer it. But we just can't get away.
Look, he's doing it again. He actually can't help himself.
No, I'll answer.
He can't help himself. Look, he's still doing it. Are you done?
I will.
Are you done? Stop
Yeah.
then.
Yeah,
stop.
but watch. Hey, guys.
No, I already did it. He's doing it again.
You avoided
He's still,
me, bro.
He's still doing it. You see that?
Wait,
You see
speak
how-
to me.
You see, he can't help himself.
The divine nature trespass.
Look.
Trespass
Pete,
for the
Pete,
human
Pete,
nature.
Look how bad he's manifesting.
Destroy
on
your own
this, bro.
theology.
Peter.
Avoiding
Peter.
my question. Concede
Peter,
and I'll
you-
answer them. Concede and I'll answer them.
Concede and you'll answer. I already gave you
Concede
the
to the argument.
I gave you an answer.
Concede
I'm glad,
right now.
I'm glad
Say
that
I
you're
concede to
scared.
the
I'm
argument.
glad that you're
Answer
scared
it.
to defend your
Answer it.
God.
Do they trespass?
All right. They don't trespass. No. Improper wording. So I answered the question. So are you going to come back up here and actually address it? Because that's not a concession.
Yeah, Peter, speak to me.
It's a proper word. All right. Rumi is a very friendly guy. He'll definitely have a good conversation with you. Will you come up here and address it?
Yeah, I'm nice. I won't do anything harmful at the start. That's what I can promise.
This is great. I didn't change my answer. I never said that interfering was proper. You literally admitted that I denied interfere and trespass. You admitted that I denied both of them because I said it's not proper to our theology. And then you tried to make an argument about how that's coping. So that is not that's not an argument. So do you want to come up here and actually
I don't know why he's doing this. He's manifesting like Jibreel alayhi salam when he saw the black dogs in Muhammad's house.
he's completely manifesting.
Chill, man.
I didn't switch my answers on God. Literally, you can ask anybody in that chat, bro. I denied the word interference and trespass both times the second that you brought it up the first time.
Yeah, Peter, you're named after like the Bishop of Rome.
We had to look up the synonym because you thought that trespass didn't mean negative connotations. That's the reason why we had to look it up, not because I agreed with you. Because I was trying to prove to you that it showed negative connotations. That's why we had to look it up. So again, you're lying. Yet again. You're simply just a lying dog. Do you want to come up here and actually have a conversation?
Yeah, Peter, I'm gonna... you're testing my patience. I'm gonna still be nice to you.
I told you to define interfere because interfere normally has negative connotations. And when you tried to show me the synonyms, which were negative connotations as synonyms, I denied it. It's as simple as that. So I denied both of them. So do you want to actually have this conversation? Yes or no? If not, I'll just mute you for the rest of the live and then we'll just continue. Because Rumi really wants to have a conversation with you. I think it'll be really nice.
Yeah.
Trust me, he's gentle.
Yeah, no, I'm going to upload the whole clip that I had with him. It's going to be awesome. I think he's gone. I don't know. I haven't checked. Of course, he's going to run away from his own God, though.
Look at that name as well. Peter is Muslim. Like,
everything's Muslim according to them.
Like I said, he was...
I'm not running, bro. I answered all your questions, and I denied the two definitions that you tried to force into our theology. So I gave you a proper explanation for our position.
wait, Jay, who's Peter? Tell me.
He's the supreme head of the Mu'minun. That's who he is.
Does he have a universal jurisdiction over them?
Yes.
And was this present in the first millennium?
Indeed.
W.
His successors were the imams.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and mute you since you don't want to actually have the argument. You don't want to actually, address the thing that they're talking about. So if you want to come up, you can go ahead and request, but I'm not going to let you yap and chat anymore since you don't want to actually address anything. I gave you those arguments. I gave you the explanations. I even denied the two things that you were trying to trap me into, and you still said I accepted them, so I can tell you're not being genuine. So it's all good. You can go ahead and sit in there. You can go ahead and read chat and weep for all I care.
Nice. Rumi, did you hear what Jay said? His successors are the imams. The Shia imams? The infallible ones.
Yeah, the 12 infallible imams. They get appointed by the group of the Sahaba, like every time, and then they get let off some hashish to know if there's a new imam or not.
Based. It was funny. I remember Omar showed them one time the infallible imams contradicting each other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Phone charge is so slow when it's connected to the computer. Oh my goodness.
Isn't it funny that the doctrine of the infallible imam started up when the West were
Yo, I got two questions for you, bro.
Petra and stuff?
Yeah, man. What's up, Blue?
Hey, first question: does he think that fresh and salt water are able to mix?
Yes.
Okay, so you know what my career is, right? I'm a deep sea diver.
That's a wild.
And will you make me big?
Yeah.
I took this picture. This is the Gulf of Mexico water not mixing with the Mississippi River water. They do not mix. And I can see it while I'm on the ocean floor or topside. You can see a vivid wall coming towards you. Whichever tide's higher is going to be the one that's going to win. And you can watch it coming to you. You can watch the darkness coming over and overtake you. It's a wild thing to see. They most absolutely do not mix. And it's a vivid line in the water. It's pretty cool. So no, they don't mix.
Yeah.
But
Will your
okay.
book be a physical book? I don't know yet. I'm gonna be real. I don't
You
think
got
so.
it.
It's more of an informal apologetic. It's not like an actual book I'm trying to get published because it does use a lot of informal citation. The bibliography is not exactly an MLA format, so it kind of depends.
Amazon will do it. But I got a question for you though. So it's just more of like a historical Orthodox question, just because I couldn't really find an answer online. So the main liturgy that we were using was the St. James liturgy, correct? Before St. John Chrysostom's liturgy.
Mm-hmm.
Why did it change to St. John Chrysostom's and St. Basil's liturgy? What's the reason for that change?
It's just
do we ever still use St. James?
It's just traditional. Some churches do use St. James still. I'm pretty sure that Jerusalem still does the St. James liturgy.
I think I saw the Antiochian does too.
Sometimes they do. Depends on the time of the year. But the Church of Jerusalem does do the St. James liturgy still because St. James established Jerusalem.
Okay. I was just wondering, just because I know it's a church that, I'm not denying anything about the church. I'm very glad coming to Orthodoxy, but, the church goes back to the time of Christ. So I was just wondering why the liturgy had changed. What was the reasoning behind it?
Yeah. Different areas have always used different liturgies. Like the Alexandrian Rite use the St. Mark liturgy. Right. So
is it the same basic format though?
Yeah. They all pretty much say the exact same thing. It's just it depends on what part of the liturgy that they hold at certain times.
Oh, okay. It might be in different sections, grouped differently, or maybe a couple different prayers or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's what I was
wondering. There might be a different order as to when, for example, they do the prayer for the dead. There might be a different for example, the St. Mark liturgy does the Trisagion at a different time than the St. James liturgy does.
Okay.
They all proclaim the exact same theology in every way. It's just they're traditionally different based off of when they say certain things is all.
Okay, so it wasn't a change in the Orthodox Church. It was just
no.
Okay. I like the way you laughed at it. That's the best answer, honestly.
No,
that was really.
I laughed at that because that sounds like a Protestant who's studying the church history to try to debunk Orthodoxy. That sounds like an argument that they would make.
And it is most definitely not me trying to debunk church history. It's me trying to fully grasp church history because I'm very glad I'm not a Protestant anymore.
Yeah. No, so there was never a change, quote unquote. It's just traditionally when the apostles established certain churches, they had their liturgies that they had made, and they eventually evolved into the church fathers, for example, that had added more things to the liturgy over time for liturgical traditional purposes, because that's how Holy Tradition works.
I gotcha. Okay, cool.
That's why Saint Basil's liturgy is really long.
Yeah, that was the first liturgy I went to. Was the St. Basil liturgy.
Mm-hmm.
It was a nighttime St. Basil liturgy.
Yeah, it depends on the time of year too. There's pre-sanctified liturgies are also different. It just kind of depends on the time of year.
I gotcha. Cool. But also just ocean water don't mix. I see it every day out offshore.
Yeah,
so
fair enough. Yeah, try to show a Quranic miracle. So W. But anyway, I'm feeling really tired tonight, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm probably gonna end up cutting it a little early tonight because I'm not feeling too well. I've been having to deal with my kids all day, and man, my kids were being freaking wild. I'm dying. After that conversation, especially, it drained everything I had. But yeah, I'll stream again here. What day is it? Monday? Is today Monday? Yeah. So I'll stream again Wednesday, and then I'll be gone for a little bit. I'll probably not stream for about 4 or 5 days, because Dune Awakening's coming out, and I'm playing that a lot. I'll be posting videos. I'll still probably do a couple Discord class session things in between that as well. But I'm not Greek, I'm Antiochian. I did attend a Greek church on Sunday, though. Decided to check it out. God bless everybody.